Okay, so this is a bit of a familiar picture really. I always seem to take the engine as the first shot, the opening shot. As you can see, I'm no cameraman and I'm no movie director either. So I know I said that I promised that I wasn't going to do any more videos for the next couple of days. Was to try to get my head around, well, the head. Just because the damage inside was a lot more extensive than I thought it was. But, you know, I guess the secret to anyone's success is you've got to persevere. And even though life throws lots of roadblocks in your way, you just got to keep pushing past them. And that's what I did today. So, more of the driver's side head. As you can see, I've given it a bit of a clean. I've tried to flush out as much of the rust and the gunk that was in the bores. And that sort of pinky reddy stuff that I've got sitting in there now is a sort of a 2/3 mix of transmission fluid and acetone. Now, acetone apparently is really good at sort of cutting through all the crap and the rust, and when I mixed it up it started to fizz, so I was a little bit worried that it was going to, like, you know, sort of burn its way through the actual head, sorry, the engine block itself, but it hasn't, so that's pretty good. But I haven't given up. So yeah, she looks a bit crusty, but okay, so part two was obviously to take the passenger side head off, and it's pretty much more of the same, only I think this side was probably copped most of the wet weather and the decay of time. So if you look at the two heads on the right hand side, I don't know what, you know, cylinder numbers they are. I guess they've got numbers, but these two here with the ATF and the acetone mix, they were really bad. The one on the far right hand side is probably one of the worst pistons I've ever seen in my life, and I've dismantled about 3 or 4 flat heads to date. So yeah, I would imagine this is the worst block I've ever had to deal with, and it's really sad because I think if either the farmer, the guy I bought it from, or the original owner that scrapped it or planned on scrapping it had just literally put something over the carby here, just a metal panel, piece of corrugated iron or something like that, I don't think this engine would be, in fact, it's not a question of thinking, I know it wouldn't be in this state now. All of this damage is from rainwater making its way down the carb there, through all of these little chutes in the manifold, into the ports where the valves are, okay, the inlet valves, I'm guessing, not the exhaust valves, but the inlet valves. And then if they're open, like these two are, you see that one's open, the water just pours straight through into the bores, and then it can just sit there for any length of time, a week, 2 weeks, 2 years, 3 years, who knows, I don't know. But it really pisses me off, because I think if they just, whoever had it before me, I think that's when most of the damage was done in the last couple of years. If the farmer had just put something over the carby, none of this would have happened. So it's such a shame, and I'm really angry about it, but there's absolutely bugger all I can do about it now, because, well, this is just how it is. So I'm going to leave this stuff for a couple of days and just see whether it gets rid of any of the crusty shit on the inside of the walls of the bores. And failing that, if it's still really, really bad, I think the only thing I can do is to whip this engine out, completely strip it, and start from scratch and take all of the valves out, take all of the pistons out, take the crank out, etc, etc, etc. And it is the mother of all jobs, and it's possible, anything's possible. It's just time and effort and, well, lots of money as well. I mean, those are the 3 crucial ingredients really when you tackle anything of this size, any old vintage vehicles, whether they're military ones or civilian ones. So on the flip side, this is probably the cleanest this engine has ever looked in 80 years, maybe, I don't know. But I have cleaned this thing within an inch of its life. I've drained the sump, I've put diesel down there. That's an old trick that a lot of mechanics use. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't damage any of the mechanics. That's been drained, manifold's been pulled off. I've had a look at the galley. It's a bit cruddy, but it's otherwise, you know, it's just crusty. Oil, it's not too bad. Carby's good, fuel pump's good, filler cap's okay. So all of that stuff there is as clean as a whistle. I mean, look, check it out. It was just, I've never seen so much garbage on top of this thing in my life. So anything's better than nothing. Anyway, that's about it for today and for the next couple of days while I scratch my head and try and come up with a game plan. But this is a magical engine, and it's part of the original vehicle, so I'm not going to give up on it just yet. All right, folks, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.